Hey there, funnel builders. How are we all doing? Mike here from Sell Your Service. So I basically am writing out our traffic report for the month. Scared the hell out of me. Oh no, Mike shush. From Sell Your Service. And yeah, I wanted to share with you guys some of the data and stuff that we're seeing. I'm writing this out as a blog post. I do it every month, but I figured it might be quite kind of cool to record this. I'm also going to live stream this at the same time if you're watching the recording, obviously. Excuse the headphones. These are my gaming headphones. I got Far Cry 5 recently, and I am absolutely loving it. I'm trying to play as much of it as I can before we have an incredibly busy month. It's a bank holiday here in the UK. So let's switch over my screen. This time I'm actually going to share the screen. Apparently last time I pretty much ran an entire presentation and didn't share anything. Of course, this is, if you're watching live, I'll be in the comments so you can go ahead and ask questions. But if you are watching in the recording, let me know in the comments down below if you've got any questions and I'll answer them. So this is our traffic report. Let me open up the preview actually. So I tend to have the same format for every single one, every single report. And to me, it's really, really important that I do the report as if I was promoting this out to my board or to my team. It's pretty simple. I look at my traffic. I look at the different sources and channels that we have because I want to see growth in certain channels. And I've got my email subscribers. So I'm going to be measuring how many how many new views I get. I'm going to be measuring how many new subscribers I've got. We're also this time going to look at our ads. Here we go. Our little remarketing ads. And I'm going to tell you about a huge mistake that I've made with our ads and why they're performing well, but they could be performing a lot better. So first of all, let's have a look here. Last month, I also want to share with you guys this. This is as complicated as our reporting process gets, but it helps us understand what our growth strategy is. So let's have a look here. No spreadsheets yet. That's not true. Where am I? Here we go. Got trillions of spreadsheets, Google. Come on. Traffic and email estimates. Here we go. Beaut. And I've got my coffee as well. So last month, we had, in February, 1,681 unique visitors to Sell Your Service. Now, I use Orabi for this. This is obviously this many visits. Now, that was quite disappointing to me. That was a bit of a downer for me because we'd had such a great month previously. In fact, if we come back here to the dashboard, that's March, so 2,699, which I am very, very happy with, partly because it actually shows more growth organically than it did from our traffic campaign. And I'll show you that. There's some really interesting data. As soon as you just start spending a bit of time, like I said, I only do this once a month. But it's showing me some really interesting patterns. If I come back to February, you can see here, 1,681. But the month before that, I think we just broached in January 2,000. Yeah, 2,000 bang on. So I was really disappointed to see it drop. There are a few reasons why that could have happened. It's a lower period. You know, it's only 4 weeks bang on. There's more weekends per day. So that's a big deal. But also, we weren't really promoting anything. We were kind of just like mulling through it and we didn't really focus on anything too heavily. However, March has skyrocketed way back up. In fact, there was a huge spike here right at the start where we had 350 visitors on March the 1st. I'm going to tell you why we had that, because that was a huge mistake that I made. On average, organically getting a 4.7 conversion rate across the site. Now, it's actually higher than that. I just haven't put in all of my goals. It's actually closer to about 7.9%, but I'm going to go into a few really interesting statistics on some of those kind of things. So let's go over here to all visits. I'm going to pick my dates. So here is March 1st. So 2,699. Very cool. Here's what's awesome. Now we're doing a paid traffic campaign, just remarketing. All we're doing at the moment is remarketing. We're not driving any cold traffic via Facebook. Now Facebook has jumped up from last year, which is great. And if I take a look here, new email subscribers for this particular campaign, and that's not true. We haven't added in, I think, quite a few of our little conversion reports. That's fine. We need to play around with some of this because I'm going to show you some stuff later. But also Google's jumped up 1,500 visits from Google, and it's way more than our direct, which I'm really, really happy with. Now, I'm going to see if this continues for the next month and the month after. I've got some theories as to why that is. Apparently, we've had some paid traffic from Google, which is new to me because I don't do paid traffic on Google. So I don't know where this is coming from. Pretty steady from Twitter. Facebook has absolutely jumped up. That'll be from our paid Facebook campaign, which I'll share with you guys in a bit. Overall, though, most of the stuff coming from Google, which is fantastic. A little bit from YouTube. That's growing every single month as well. So really, really good. Happy to see this. Now, here we go. How to choose a niche for your funnel business. This was a webinar that we ran. And look at that. Previous month's traffic report is the third most visited page. How to copy a $1 million sales letter from Frank Kern, sell your service. We knew that was going to rank high. We've optimized that to be quite well found and quite easy to search for. But 8 product launch email templates, sell your service. For whatever reason, this seems to be climbing, which I'm very, very happy with. So what I'm going to do, in fact, I think I already have. I'm going to actually write up a little bit about this. Happy as February saw a bit of a downturn. And I'm going to delete that and I'm going to upload wherever my image is that I took. Here we go. I'm not going to do this for every single one. I just wanted to remember it while I did it. April traffic report, April marketing funnel. So if my competition are watching this, you can now finally see quite easily what I use for my alt text and for my description. It's not anything complicated, I'm afraid. Marketing funnel traffic report April. Let's insert to that post. So as I said, yeah, my channels as well, really interesting. Last month, Google was 924, but it's almost doubled. It's certainly added another 600 on, which you can see here. It's up to 1,500, which I'm stoked about, that we've got over 1,000 organic visits. Here's why this is so important. If you so Facebook recently had this whole thing and everyone's deleting their Facebook accounts. They're not. They're saying they are, but they're not. There's a lot of data to say that people are actually just saying, oh, I'm not using Facebook anymore because, this data breach. I got news for you. Everyone's collecting data from you. YouTube is collecting data from you. Google is collecting data from you. Everybody isn't. Everybody's selling it, right? So a lot of people, however, there will be a downturn in the amount of users that use Facebook. There will be a downturn in the amount of traffic that we produce via these channels. It also shows you that the only place where you can regularly and reliably continue to drive traffic on your own turf is by creating content on your own site. There are potentially hundreds of thousands. I think Facebook worked out there's 2 million active advertisers, but let's say there's conservatively, 10% of them use that. So 200,000 businesses out there. There will be many, many thousands of businesses that rely solely on paid Facebook advertising to drive traffic to their website, straight to a sales page or straight to some kind of, product page or demo page. When that changes, okay, so when Facebook changes its algorithms or payment algorithms or costs or advertising costs or shuts down, hell, it happens, all right? People forget this. MySpace was huge at one point. It was massive, and it just kind of disappeared overnight. It's possible this could happen, which is why generating traffic from a variety of sources by producing content on your own site is vital, because you can always drive traffic from fresh sources. But it's very, very difficult to build that back up when one traffic channel just completely dies away. Anyway, it's my little conspiracy theory over with there. We'll have a look at the little bit of the... Oh, we've got our YouTube channel as well. Yeah, let's have a look at the YouTube channel. Let's take a look at that, because there's some cool stuff in our YouTube channel as well. Let's look at our Creator Studio. Here we go. Yeah, so Analytics. And again, I just do this once a month. I think it can sometimes be overwhelming with the amount of stuff that we've got. I don't want those dates. Last 28 days. I want last month. This month, March. Oh, yeah, because there's a bit of a lag. That's fine. Interesting. The average view duration's gone up. The amount of views has gone down last month, which is kind of interesting to me. Top 10 videos. Hey, Dan Shaw, if you're watching, you've skyrocketed up there to the average watch time. Our MailChimp automation video is still the most popular. A lot of our kind of reviews, this is why I like looking at this, a lot of our review-based posts and kind of practical how-to videos are really, really popular. Obviously, I'm not talking even about 1,000 views each. But this shows growth, and I'm quite excited about that. Apologies to anyone out there who's actually got a big YouTube channel. I'm sure this looks almost embarrassing to you, but this to me is kind of cool that I like, and I can see this bit by bit kind of growing and creeping up. So yeah, like I said, I just take screenshots of these. So that's kind of an interesting thing to see. Is that of all time there? Yeah, obviously that's all time. Yeah. And you can see this little bit of growth up here. There's a couple of spikes and stuff. And again, with the average view duration, you can see it going up over time. So my next steps for overall traffic are continue basically to doing what we're doing. We have got a content program coming out where I'm going to want to build out our, and don't worry, I'm going to come to the PPC and the remarketing stuff and the email subscriber stuff in a bit. So yeah, I'm going to continue creating content. Like I said, I might have a new content program where we're going to pay for content. We've had a lot of people reaching out to us and say, hey, we'd love to write for you. We'd love to do that. So we might be doing that. If anyone's watching this and they want to have a channel where they can reach, 2,500 funnel builders every single month, then please, please, please let me know. I'd love to have you on. We're even potentially going to start paying for people to write blog content for us as well. If you want a good positioning piece, it'd be well worth you doing it. I think having 1 or 2 guest posts out there it's kind of like investing and saving. You put it out there and it's just constantly going to keep creating traffic for you. There's even, if I go back actually and share, you can see here in Orabi. Now this will, I'm not sure how low down this will be. Yeah, GoDaddy here. So again, it's only 2 visits. That's fine, but it continually generates visits for us. That's a blog post we had out there. ClickFunnels, that's a guest post we had there. Andy actually wrote a guest post for us. So Andy McElwain, if anyone knows Andy, he's an outstanding guy, knows a lot about WordPress, really, really fun guy. Managed WP, I think, is another blog post we had. WP Elevations, another guest post. We've got a few guest posts with them, obviously. But if I go back and look at kind of some of the other, that doesn't look like I can do it on that one. Can I pick dates? No, since April the 1st. Never mind. So there's a lot there that you can kind of just continually generate traffic from just from having it out there. Once it's done, it just continues to work away in the background. So big fan of that. Sources and channels, we've kind of gone through that already. Google crushing it. Now, I've always said that I want Google to be, there's another good example, Funnel Success Summit. That was a guest post we did with Liam Austin from Funnel Success Summit. I spoke, that was last month, I think I spoke with him, or maybe 2 months ago. And that's just continually generating traffic for us. Kind of like passive revenue. It just out there, just generates a little bit of passive revenue. I've always said that I want Facebook and Google to be our top referrers, paid or not. I don't really care. I just want them to be top. Direct is important, but I can have less control over direct. So we have put a lot more money into Facebook, and I'm going to share that with you guys in a minute. We've got it just up here. I'll share what we've been doing with that. Email subscribers. Let's check. Actually, no, let's go to the PPC first. So currently we've only got 1 remarketing campaign going. Okay. So for 1st of March to 31st of March, we had 278 link clicks from this particular campaign. Here's what we did wrong. And it's because I wasn't really paying attention. The ad set should really be your audience. So the way we focus on it at Sell Your Service and at MeBox, the way we kind of talk about this is campaign is your objective. And to be fair, this is what they teach at Digital Marketer. It's what Miles Beckler teaches. It's what Facebook teaches. It's just me. I wasn't paying attention. Campaign is where you put your objective. For this particular one, it was remarketing. I just wanted traffic. ad sets is where you choose your audience. So let's say I have 5 or 10 or 30 different audiences, and I'll show you an example of where we did it correctly, which is not a word I use very often, doing something correctly. You can see here that the campaign was just one objective, but then we had all these different audiences out here. We had all these different audiences. And then the ad is the actual creative. Now, I've spoken to my colleague Cam Jarrett, who's a very talented Facebook and YouTube marketer. He's actually just fantastic at funnels in general. I did a few podcast episodes with him a while back, as long as he doesn't see this video, because I just said something pleasant about him. And that's not really how our dynamic relationship works. So I explained this to him, and he said, oh man, you've messed up a little bit here, because this really should be per audience. And what I had done kind of stupidly is create 4 adverts and kind of group them together under the ad set. So these 4 adverts have got, essentially they're identical except for the image. And I grouped them under each ad set. So really all of these ad sets should be under all of the ads, and it should just be one ad set as an audience, because it's a remarketing audience. So I kind of messed up there. I like I said, I wasn't really paying attention, but it seems to have worked okay. We've tried. We actually ended up trying this with another campaign, and it's failed miserably. So I'm going to go back and change this out again, because we've already got the content. I'm just going to move a few things around. Ultimately, in March, 278 link clicks, 37 pence per click. So in total, we spent £64. So what's that in dollars? And you guys all know that one of the big goals of remarketing and lead generation is to make sure that euros, come on, man, to generate leads at a profit, or at least at break even. So that's $90 in total. Now, what is 90 divided by 19? 4.7 sales. Cool. So I want you to remember that. So let's say five sales. If I make 5 sales at $19 from all of these clicks, I've made a profit. It doesn't matter if I only had 5 opt-ins or if I had 278 opt-ins. We didn't. But no matter how it works out, I want to try and generate 5 sales at $19, because that particular splinter product is our best-selling one. And we'll explore this in a minute. Interesting, some of these did much, much better. This how-to advert didn't really reach anyone. And I think that's because one of the ad images has quite a lot of text in it. And we removed that down. But yeah, this counter advert, and I'll show you the counter advert. Is there an easy way to just view this? Here we go. So what it was, why don't I just get the text here? Here we go. Do you really think you should spend more than 30 minutes on a marketing funnel proposal? Well, you don't. It basically flips a perception about someone on what they think they have to write marketing funnel proposals with. So if I was to do this for health and fitness, it would say, do you really think you have to spend 2 hours at the gym every day to lose a little bit of weight? Or do you really think that you have to earn more than $30,000 a year in order to save? Or do you really think that you'll never be able to afford a house or get on the property ladder? So we kind of flip that. So this counter advert did really, really well, got a lot of clicks. What I need to start doing is adding in these kind of UTM parameters here for the tracking. And I know there's tons of stuff that I'm not doing, guys. I'm well aware of that. People sending me messages and emails and stuff on, oh, you should do this and you should do that. I completely agree. It's potentially why we're looking at hiring someone to take over this for me. A lot of those UTMs and stuff would then show me kind of the opt-in rates compared to, what the hell is going on there? No, I don't want to edit anymore. A lot of the opt-in rates compared to, other ads and stuff. But also, if I look here, I can actually I customize the columns. For whatever reason, this doesn't seem to save. I actually want, is it website leads? Yeah. For whatever reason, it's not showing there, which is kind of dumb. But we'll come on to that on another point, because the reporting will show me like how many people are opting in, because we have a special pixel set up on our reports. Um, yeah, cool. Right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up our reporting for our subscribers. However, because there's a lot of data on the screen, I'm actually going to throw this over to my camera, and I'll just be reading this out. And the reason why is obviously I don't want to screen share people's email addresses and their purchasing history and things. So of those 278 clicks, I can tell you that we had niche webinar, 125 people opt in. So that is 125 by 278. It's about a 44% opt-in rate for that particular page, which is pretty awesome to me. Now, a lot of those will obviously be people who have signed up from other places and things like that, so that's fine. But what I can do is I can also take a look and I can narrow that down, because the Facebook pixel reporting is good. It's useful for a quick scan, but I have found that it can be a bit iffy. So in my opinion, the easiest thing to do is to look at the tag inside Facebook, inside Active Campaign, and say, okay, well, first of all, I want the tag to say what the actual opt-in was. And for this one, it was this niche webinar, right? And then I can add another segment group, because we also tag people saying they've come from a particular Facebook campaign. So we say if someone has clicked through from this yep. And we say they've come from a particular campaign inside Active Campaign. And yeah, it's about the same number. It's about 120, which is awesome. Okay, so yeah, it's about 40%, roughly 40% opt-in, which is fantastic for us. Now, here's where the real kind of proof of the pudding is if I then look for the tag of who has bought a $19 little splinter product. So tag, and I'm going to go into more detail on this in the actual blog post on how we've done this. If I look at, is it $100 is what I call it? Yeah. $100,000 emails, search, and 19. So I now know that of 278 clicks, and I'm going to drag this back here, and I'll put this up here. And let's share my screen again. Where are you, Zoom? So I now know that of 278 clicks, we had roughly 120 opt-ins and roughly 19 sales. So that's roughly 10% of a sales conversion. So those 19 sales generated me $19. $361, which more than pays for the £64 spent on advertising. So that's a bit of a real-time example. Now, this is not, we're not talking about thousands of visitors. This is one campaign. I might add one badly set up and badly optimized campaign, but it's still one campaign that basically is now proven to generate subscribers at a profit for us. I've got a ton of material on how we do that. Maybe I'll go into that in more detail next time. This to me shows that the system of putting in splinter products and small products to help people helps. It also helps us pay for the cost of acquisition in the first place. And it means that when I sell a product to anyone who comes forward, who is a customer, it's already profitable. I've now generated all of this traffic here. 278 was free. Now we set it up to go to a separate PayPal account, and that has a separate traffic account for our PayPal. So it all kind of just stays even. But I happen to know that there's about $200 in there kind of just sitting there doing nothing. So that's just going to pay for the cost of traffic in the future because we've sold those little products. My advice to anyone watching this from a funnel building perspective would be to have a couple of information products. And I've even got a video tomorrow being released on how we set up an information product funnel. So we just recorded a few little audio workshops and we're going to sell them for a few bucks. That one might be a bit more expensive, might be about $47. But having a few things like that in the background to just pay for your cost of traffic, and anyone can do it, by the way, even if you're a service, especially if you're a service agency building funnels. And this is something I want to talk about more, is how we can do that. So keep an eye out for that in the future, guys. Let's look at the last thing here. Again, I'm probably not going to share with you the screen. Actually, I can with the reporting, can't I? Because I don't think it shows. Yeah, here we go. Out of the way, dragon. Here we go. So these are our reports. This is an active campaign, contact trends. Yeah, see, okay, so this is what's important. 2,547 contacts up to 2,693 contacts. Fine. What I'm actually interested in is my active contacts, and more importantly, my new contacts. So over March to March, 148 new contacts added. So of 2,699 contacts, we had 148 new people arrive, which is about a 5% conversion rate across the board, which is great. Happy with that. That's above our estimate. We try to keep it at 5%. Some of our stuff is about 7.9% across the board, and I'm interested as to why. I know our traffic has gone up, but maybe our subscribers have gone down. That's interesting to me. I can see here that our average new contacts a day is 5. Now, over time, I want this to grow up. Now, the law of compounding would state that the more traffic we generate, the faster the rate at which we actually attract subscribers goes up. So not only does the subscriber count go up, but the rate at which it goes up, kind of the law of acceleration. We've had about 61 contacts unsubscribe. I have quite a high unsubscribe rate, and I want to have a high unsubscribe rate because we have 2 automation processes which basically scrub dead email addresses. So we send a bunch of emails, and if people don't respond to them, we unsubscribe them automatically. I'm fine with that. This keeps it fresh. It keeps it active. It keeps it nice and healthy. If I look at my active list, so total contacts there of 2,540. I want to try and reach 1,000 active. Maybe have a look here. 864. Okay, so it's getting there. 9% growth. That's good. I always try to aim for 8% month on month, and I'll show you how I do that. Show you how I measure that and why I measure it. But we've had 9%. So we've gone from 792 up to 864. I want this to be 1,000 quite shortly. I think we're just shy of that now because obviously it's been April for a few days and we've had a bit of a jump recently. So that shows our active subscribers, which is great. I'm really happy with that. If I look at new contacts specific to active, it's actually higher still. It's 157 active subscribers, active contacts. Here's why that's important. If I look at my active contacts across everything, but then if I look at my new contacts across everything, but my new contacts who are active, the reason this is higher is because new subscribers over everything doesn't take into account certain types of people, I think. Can't really remember. But yeah, 157 new contacts in total who are active. That's really, really good. Tell you why that's higher. Because this is measuring... Oh no, it's just new contacts. It's really interesting, actually. I don't know why. Unsubscribes, yeah, pretty steady, pretty normal. That's fine. Cool. I think that's about it. The last thing I want to share with you guys is this kind of traffic report that we have. Now, if anyone's a member of the coaching program, Sell Your Service Coaching, I've given you access to this. It was in last month's or the month before's coaching. Traffic and email estimates is what it's called. You guys have access to this. What I like to do is in here, just put in my numbers and I'll talk you through these different columns. We have emails as well. And yeah, a few other little bits and pieces, which I'll take you through. So March 2018, we had 2,699. So what I'm going to do is put in 2,699. This is our traffic report. This is it. So growth on last month compared to last month is a 37% growth. Okay. If we continue at that trend, so this is how, if we continue at growing at 37%, which is obviously not going to happen, next month we would have 3,017, which means that if we continued at 37% growth every single month, which we won't, in 12 months time, we could have 125,000 visitors a month. That's obviously not going to happen. Okay. That's not going to happen. Here's what I do like to look at is next month. Actually, I'm going to move you here. Next month, if we just have 8% growth month on month, because on average, the growth, it's kind of swings. You can see it's 8% there, then drops, then 25%, then drops, then 30%, then drops. Well, maybe it won't drop next month. On average, it's about 8%. And I want to go for 8% growth month on month. I look for 8% across everything. My investments, my portfolio, my subscribers, my revenue, my income, my savings, traffic, everything, right? 8% is a great number to work with. This shows me that if I have a growth of 8%, next month I'll have 2,915 visitors, okay, based on 2,699. An 8% growth will give me 2,915 visitors. If I get 8% month on month, we will end up in 12 months' time per month with 6,797 visitors. Now, if I come to my traffic and opt-in goals, and look at the average amount of traffic. So that's 1,000, and then just 8% is 1080. Now we are roughly around here, okay? Month 13, 14, we're roughly at that, okay? If I had an opt-in rate of around 8% as well, again, 8%, magic number, okay, across everything, that gives me 200 subscribers a month. Now at the moment, we're about 15, okay? So it's a little bit lower than that. Sorry, we're about 150, so a little bit lower than that. But you can see as well, my number of total subscribers goes up. So if I'm collecting 8% month on, if I'm collecting 8%, even if it's not, even if it's a 5% opt-in rate, that gives me 300 new subscribers, which is insane to me that I could just generate 300 new subscribers every single month, pretty much organically, following the same process, potentially at profit as well, which is awesome. Let's have a look at emails as well. I'm going to put in the number of active subscribers I have, which is active contacts 864. There we go. Growth on last month, bang on 8.22%. Now again, that's not strictly true because it says here it was a 9.9%. What does it say from 792 last month? Oh, it's one off. Okay, there's a few weird little discrepancies there. That's fine. Yeah, it was 792, 93. I don't know why. So apparently we've had 71 new subscribers. Although we had 150 odd, we also had 70 odd or 60 odd unsubscribe. That's fine. Projected subscribers at next month with that growth rate, so at 8%, is 935. Now, that's because we're getting 8%. Okay, so this one here shows us 8%. Shows us our current growth rate. So if we continue at 8.22%, we'll have 935. If we just get at 8%, it's 933, which I'm really happy with. So far, every single month we've been just around. We actually break the 8% record month on month. It looks like, yeah, just about, yeah. December we didn't. So far we're breaking our current projections, which is wonderful news, but also it is going up every single month. Projected subscribers in 12 months time is around 2,229. If we assume it's 8%, so again, this is using the same growth formula. Now, at the moment, this is 8%, which is fantastic. But if we use a kind of across the board flat 8%, it's 2,176 in 8 months time. In 12 months time. So you can see here that this is pretty much how we kind of measure all of our traffic. And it just reminds me that, yeah, we're doing okay. We're getting there. The law of compounding, again, is kind of these things where it spikes up. Yeah. April, we were expected to be 899. And we are actually at 864. Okay, so we're slightly below. That's fine. We're slightly behind our overall longer term goals. Although April's there twice. January, February, March, April. Yeah, there we go. So we are slightly behind, but why is June there again? Who did this? January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. Yeah. Right, I'll have to do that another way. So around, June, we should be hitting 1,000, we reckon, subscribers. Cool, that about does it. Thanks very much for bearing with me there, guys. I had to do the report anyway, so I figured I'd kind of go through it with you guys live. If you've got any questions at all, please let me know in the comments below. I think it's just as simple as making sure that you are regularly checking up on your own traffic and things. It doesn't have to be any more complicated than the spreadsheet, as you can see. I'll put a link to the actual traffic report, the written up version of the traffic report that I have below, and maybe I'll link through to our little kind of traffic report format. It's nice and simple. Like I said, I use Orabi for our reporting, and I often kind of use ActiveCampaign for the email subscribers, because I think that's the most accurate measure, rather than checking on like pixels and stuff, because that's going to show me in real time. Thanks very much, guys. I will speak to you later as always. And yeah, keep building those funnels. Bye, guys.